Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to Digital Marketing class. On the chat box, please just do me a favor. Come and comment here with the smiley emoticon face or indicate that you can hear me very well. I'm also sharing the screen, so it's important that I know that you are able to see the screen very well. So we will start with class just now, but I want to make sure we're on the same page. Thank you, Tiani, for that. So the screen should show digital marketing page on Brightspace or my Tutor 2DL. And we gonna come to content. So our focus today, as you can see in the year plan as well, we are in this week of the 12th till 16 July, and we should be doing chapter 6. So that is learning unit 5 under learning unit content. So you'll also need to download all the documents that we'll be going through today. So firstly, you download the PowerPoint slides. And you also download the learning activity. That's the learning activity we're gonna be looking at into answering questions as well as to do reflection on chapter 6. And the case study is about Showmax. We'll be doing that case study using quizzes later on. So let's start with opening chapter 5. Excuse me, chapter 6. Furthermore, please note, ladies and gentlemen, that as you can see, I am not on the Microsoft Teams app, so I'm unable to see you if you raise hands that side or you have any questions. So as usual, please interrupt me. I will also encourage you to just unmute the mic and ask any questions if you have, and if you also want some clarity. So chapter 6, digital experiences, that is on page 293 of the textbook. You will also have to have a textbook in front of you. It's helping you to highlight in the textbook as well as to look into some case studies. We'll talk about that. I will always reference the page that is shown on top there. The late co-founder of Steve Jobs indicate that you have to start with customer experience and work backwards to technology. That's one of his quotes. And in this quote, what we actually understand is that we'll have to think about as well as what the customer value is before we actually develop our products. So obviously is one of the leaders or considered to be the great leaders in technology development and innovation. So in this case, it was mostly about customer experience first, and you work backwards to technology because it becomes easier as you understand what customer are looking for. to develop the kind of technology that will allow those interaction, those engagement with customers, as well as participation and brand interaction and brand value for customers. So at the bottom of the page, you'll see there we've got a plan that is used to develop a digital marketing plan using a SOSTAC planning framework. And the SOSTAC planning framework, let's quickly look in the textbook so that I can show you. It's in the beginning of the chapter there. So if you look on page 3 of the textbook, you will see you've got figure 1.1 on page 3, and it shows you that planning framework. And then on the slide, you'll see some variables and how it relates to chapters that we are doing. So situation analysis, we've covered that part. Objectives, we've covered that part on chapter 1. Currently, we are here where we are looking in terms of strategy. And basically, there are 3 strategies in a digital marketing plan that you can consider. A company or a marketer can use social media marketing as a strategy. Today, we'll be looking at the website being used as a strategy, and you can look at mobile marketing as well, options that are available. And then further, we're going to look into the other chapters, continuing with the SOSTAC planning framework. So let's start with the website and mobile marketing. They are both on chapter 6. On page 298, you will see the objectives of a website design as well as the app design. These objectives are not new. These objectives is the same objectives of a digital marketing plan. Similar objectives as well that we look into when we discuss chapter 5, talking about social media objectives. So you will also see similarities where the objectives such as sell, serve, speak, sizzle, they are included. However, the save objective is not included. And we spoke about this last week, indicating that when you are using digital technologies, you are already saving a lot of money compared to traditional media. So anything that you're gonna replace there, it's actually gonna cost more than to increase value or to save cost. So we don't consider the save objective with the use of digital medias. So in this case, our sell objective is to help customers to buy something that they need online. So remember, we are making a focus area on the website now. So it's no longer about swiping in the store or making payment using your mobile phone, such as tap and go, because that will actually mean that you are physically required to be in a physical store. And digitally, we wanna actually support or accommodate customers even if they're not in the store. So we're talking about online payments here, such as your credit card. We also talking about anything that is also used to drive traffic to the website. Things such as the website offering customers something such as a free trial. It would work to be a sell objective as well, because they can access content without any payment being made during that stage. We also talk about the serve objective, which is to help customers find the information they are looking for. And usually we will use the website to give customers things such as the frequently asked questions. You'll have a page there about us as an organization, our products, our prices, where you can find the products, where you can buy. All those things are meant to help customers find information. But it's also more than that. It's also about things such as customers being offered a platform where they can contact the company sales representatives. So things such as your online video chats that you put there is to make convenience for customers to also find information, because when they communicate with the company to resolve their issues, maybe to settle uh, any disputes that they have. It's also about serving customers. It's also about comments. If you allow them to write any comment and respond to those comments on the website, all those are objectives to serve. When it comes to speak, we have to understand that speaking objective is to, most of the time, it comes from the communication from the company side to customer side. It's so speaking objective, we can use the website to communicate important messages to customers. So it's not necessary to help them. So things such as what you see on the slide, you will see a live chat there. I believe that that picture actually illustrates serving customers. Even the definition that is provided there, where they indicate to help customers save money and time, that is still serving customers rather than speaking. So speaking, let's use the definition that is on the textbook. And if you look under speak objective, there they talk about we can use the site to converse with, which means that we can use the website for us to talk to customers, get closer to customers, provide tailored content. So this is also about talking to customers individually. So we using examples such as giving them their own inbox on the website, sending newsletters in that inbox, communicating with customers about what are the promotions running this week. For example, that could be on the app such as Uber Eats, where it shows you stores near you, the promotions and so on. So all those are speaking objective. So just consider when you read the definitions that is provided here, as well as the slide, that it makes more sense to rather consider this as a self-objective than speak objective. Because if there's a two-way communication here, most of the time people will start a live chat. It's usually when they have complaints and they want to solve those complaints. So it's just helping customers to serve them there. To Sizzle is to help customers enjoy a brand experience. Once again, we are focusing on the website and the app or a smartphone app. How can we use that to give customers a new brand experience or to enjoy that brand experience? So in most cases, it tends to be on the app or smartphone app more than the website. Unless on the website you think about very, very innovative examples, things such as a visual tower or a visual tour, actually, at certain universities and so on. Let's quickly see if we can show you a real practical example here. So let's say, let's quickly go and visit some museum, but in this case, it says Robben Island. There is one. This could be videos, but let's quickly go to the own website. Okay, I actually never seen this one previously, so maybe if you watch a video that could work. Probably something such as the White House will have that, but in most cases, okay, that was an ad, and you can see it wants you to have a mobile app virtual realities there. White House. So this is from the origin of the website, original website. So it will be something such as this one. But once again, here it's recorded. So when it's recorded, we cannot consider it about new brand experience. We should be able to actually control this and walk. Okay, so yeah, in this case, it does allow it a bit. So if it's something such as this one, it can bring some sort of a new experience because we can walk in this house like you see. If we want to walk up here and look at this picture next to a wall, we can walk there. And some stages you can also open the doors or walk back, but this one you can't open the doors. It's just about the pictures. It's a 360 view, but it's something such as that one using a website. There is more. I think University of Cape Town has one as well. Instead of an open day, students or prospective students can use such as well there. It's also more about allowing interactivity and engagement on the website. For example, consider something such as Netflix here. Let's say Netflix, it allows consumers to interact or show comments or integrate those comments with the ones that are on Twitter. It's something that we usually see on shows such as Your Idols or your Big Brother. It has shown that it gives customers some sort of a new experience with the show, but we tend to want new innovations here. We want something to be out of this world in a way. So based on this objectives, I need you to understand the use of the website. So we're gonna use a practical example that we have as this website that is showing here, my tutor 2DL. So I want you to consider this example. So I'm gonna make it the first learning activity. You're gonna comment your answer in the chat box. So I'm gonna make it about 2 minutes. It's just for you to comment and answer and also indicate specifically the page on my tutor that you're talking about. So in the chat box, indicate the objective. I think we refer to it as a key objective in digital marketing. Yeah, it's key objectives. Indicate the key objectives of it's bright space, but I still prefer to use my tutor. They use 2DL there because we replaced this one from Blackboard. Last year we were using Blackboard, which it's used by many universities, but this one is different. I'm sure as a student as well, you've noticed that it's different. Okay, so it is now 9:53. So at 9:55, I'll continue with class. Please participate by indicating in the chat box the key objective of my tutor that you have noticed so far, whether is to sell, is to serve, is to speak, is to sizzle. And I'm going to continue quickly to discuss those answers because we need to understand the objectives there. So I'm going to quickly mute myself here. You're left with 60 seconds, ladies and gentlemen, 1 minute. So please participate. Thank you for those who are participating by indicating the objectives of my tutor, New Brightspace. All right, we can continue now. Thank you for that participation. So if we look in terms of most of your answers here, I see a lot of you talked about to serve, and I fully agree with the ones to serve a lot, because we see things such as on Brightspace. Quickly, if we open here, we see things such as whereby you can have online classes that like we are having right now. That is part of serving. Remember, it's existing customers as students that you already enrolled at TUT. So right now it's all about any issues that you have as well. With things such as help, where I can view my marks, all those things about serving customers, because previously if you have to request this information, it's more about convenience. So it's all about saving time and so on. And then there were those who indicated to speak, and I also agree with that key objective. We see lecturers using it for, I think Blackboard was more to speak than Brightspace. We're talking about the announcements that you have there, when is your next class, the content that we publish, your PowerPoint slides, and so on. So all those things that whereby they come from the lectures or they come from the universities to speak objective. So most of you were able to identify that as well. To Cecil, is there any new experience that you can think about that Brightspace is bringing you to students in terms of learning? That with Brightspace, there is this new experience? Not much. Let's see in the comments, anyone who mentions Cecil. It must be more innovative, or we must use the innovative examples of the Brightspace to see it being a sizzling part. So we're talking about other features that it has that will allow you to think about the brand of online learning differently, rather than just as more or less similar to a contact class. So that's what we actually want there. To sell, I would reconsider to sell a bit, or think practically, because now to sell, in most cases, it's about potential customers. So it will be more about potential students, those who like matric students. How can we invite them? How can we increase the numbers at TUT? So here on Brightspace, it's mostly about existing students. So to sell, we will TUT, I think it's using a different platform for to sell. So if you go to the normal website, so normal TUT website, I can consider it's more about to sell, because it's about the brand image of TUT, as well as this enabler platform. This is more about to sell for customers, for example, whereby they can log in there and they can see their admission status and all those things. So it will, the normal T2 website, I would consider it as to sell, but the My Brightspace one, it works more on to serve customers, as we've indicated, as well as to speak, but not as much as to serve them. We can also consider these objectives when we look at the website design elements. So if you open on page 296, you will see they talk about, at the bottom of the page there, you can highlight essential elements of creating effective online experiences. And those are the website design elements that you have. For example, the first one is the function of the website, which is an objective of the website, basically the purpose of the website. So, which is similar to serve. We're gonna look into that as well now. We're gonna look at the content, the form of the website, the organization interaction of the website. So basically, these are the website elements that you use to achieve specific objectives as well. If you want to sell under content, what type of content you should focus, what type of form of the website you should do. So the form of the website, we're talking about the style. Another way that you can use to understand form, it's about style, which talks about things such as the website is scary, it's fun, it's entertaining, it's too much words, it's too much pictures, and so on. And we also gonna look at the marketing mobile options that we have. A company have those 5 ones. The mobile site, which is similar to the GPRS site or .mobi, not your normal normal website. Your mobile applications, which basically nowadays a smartphone is about mobile applications that are running. You will realize that as soon as you don't have access to the internet, your smartphones, it's no longer smart. It's just a phone, no app you can use them. And then the advertising that we can use in those apps, the quick response code, as well as SMSs. We're going to talk a bit more about SMS. Why is it part of digital marketing? Because remember, with digital marketing, we must consider that it must be online as well. It must be more interactive as well. So let's start with the website design elements. On page 305 in the textbook, you will see there they provide you with that definition of usability in the second paragraph there. So when we look in terms of the function of the content, usability and accessibility, they talk about the purpose of the website. So if you create a website, you must have a purpose in mind, which is the objective of the website, which we just looked into now. So consider this as objectives of the website. They make it more understandable. So you will see they talk about the website. It can be used to provide convenience and usability. This is one of the objectives, is to serve objectives. We can agree on that one. When you provide convenience, you provide usability, you provide accessibility, it's all about convenience to customers. To support marketing communication tools, and you can see here we're talking about speak objective. So the website is used to support, remember it says support marketing communication. So that communication already is to speak. But if it was just marketing in general, marketing tools or to support marketing activities will include things such as to serve. But here we are focusing on communication. This is to speak objective. And the last one, to support multi-channel buying processes. So we must understand that we've got different type of buying processes, which are illustrated in the textbook as well. So if you also open on the next page, 309, and this is a practical question. On page 309 there, you have to write there on figure of 6.7 alternative buying modes. You can write NB or highlight it, how it works. So it shows you the difference between offline and online buying process and how customers tend to bounce from one process to another, or they tend to have different modes, which means they browse online, buy offline, and then the fulfillment is offline, or it can be online, or it could be vice versa. So now, how do you answer this question practically? You will have to, basically, depending on any case study, that you are dealing with. So you will see there you've got 3 stages that are taking place during this customer buying process or multi. Write it here. Multi-channel, or sometimes they refer to it as a mixed mode. And we've got offline versus online. And you've got your stages there. How do they browse? You refer to it as choose. Step 2, how do they purchase, which is action if you look at the consumer decision-making process. And lastly, it's post-purchase behavior that we have there, fulfillment. So when you have to apply this in terms of the case study, so we've done previously different case studies. So if you think about one of those case studies, maybe that we've done, let's take, okay, it will need us to read the case study. That might be, here you indicate practical examples depending on that case study that you are dealing with. So if we're using a generic example, let's say macro, for example, so customers can purchase offline, they can browse offline. For example, they have things such as catalogs, they've got physical stores where they can walk into shelves and so on. So basically for macro, it does accommodate those who are preferring offline buying mode. So you can talk about physical stores there, your printed catalogs. All these things, if the case study indicate them, if they are offline, you will indicate them here. So here I'm using macro as a generic example. And then online, macro does have an online, does have an app as well. So does accommodate those ones who purchase online. Some of these retailers now, they are available on things such for delivery, such as Uber Eats. It's no longer just about restaurant food. You can order from macro, not macro, sorry. You can order from game stores. Their game store is on Uber Eats. So if it allows them to be distributed via those app stores, I know Checkers is having their 360. However, that one is their own app. It's not on a different app. So, but if it's on a different app, you also include it here. You can also purchase on the website. They allow that. And then buying, if it's offline, if it's in the physical store, you're gonna, obviously cash is there. Online, that will be your card payments that are allowed. If the case study also talks about adding to the bill, you just have to be careful here. If it's payment on delivery, it's no longer online payment, so consider such. So any other examples that you can have whereby you can pay using maybe e-bucks for F&B, if it allows you that online, you include all those examples there as well. Fulfillment, obviously, it's about whether you customers are satisfied or not satisfied, and if they are not satisfied, what are available options for customers. Offline, obviously, maybe can be a walk-in, which is a customer service that you can go to, or maybe it could be a telephone number. I've seen some students making a mistake and including it as a online. There is nothing online about it. So if the telephone number is listed, you include that telephone number there. Email, it becomes an online thing because you can do it at home. So if they allow that email, for example, for support, it could also be a help center page whereby if they have any issues, they can see frequently asked questions, the videos, the guidance on. So you do this one practically, like I've indicated here. What we wanna basically do here, we wanna see whether the website can actually be used, which is just strictly online, which gonna be focusing here to support these offline activities. If there is nothing that is allowed offline, for example, if the example was not macro in this case, it was about a digital store, such as maybe something such as Timer Bank. Timer Bank, you will know that maybe you cannot look at their cards or their product offerings offline. You have to look them on the website and so on. There is no catalog. So you will write here not supported if it's not included. And then buying of that, if it's not there, you'll write there that is not accommodated as well. So the aim is to identify those stages where it's not accommodated and use some website functions to accommodate customers during that. So supporting multi-channel buying modes, if we relate it to the objectives of digital marketing, this one will relate it to sell objective. So it's about selling. Most of the time, anything about that allows you to buy online, it's about selling, which means that customers, it allows them to complete the transaction immediately then. On page 321, we look at the second element of a website design. And basically what we have there, we've got the content. And this is another practical questions that you also need to write, highlight. It's on page 321. Talking about content under dynamic design and personalization. But we will be looking in how we can use this content to personalize customer experience. So you will realize that when we're discussing the first element, which is this one, the function of a website, we did not consider sizzling. You will see the first one to serve objective. This one was to speak. Support multi-channel is to sell. So content is to sizzle. Basically, you will see it talks about customer experiences. So we'll be looking at how we can influence or give customers new experience using content basically on the website for that one. And you have 4 options that are available there. On page 321, you can highlight them. They're in the first paragraph. This topic is also reviewed from a different perspective. I'm reading in line number 5 there. In section 8.6, where concept customization, mass customization, individualization are explained, showing examples. So we need to go to that section 8.6 because those are the database integration that we're looking into here. So you will see that they are towards the end of the chapter as well. Section 8.6. And those 4 ones, you'll see on the next page, where it says options for personalization, we can consider that. They are summarized there. So you've got quite a number of options that you can use, but like as I've indicated, we're only going to focus on the ones that are used for customer experience. So you can highlight the first one using customer or company name. It's individualism, which is customer demographics. You can write with a pen in the textbook as well. Those are customer demographics. It will be applicable to company name if it's business to business. The next one, country, you can also add there, that is mass customization. I prefer to use the term location rather than the country because you can further customize content that is online by looking at a specific geographic location. For example, if you are in KZN and there's an event in KZN, you don't have to advertise that event to people that are in Pretoria and so on online. It can work to personalize that content to be strictly for someone who's at that specific location. It becomes more relevant. So country, it makes sense, but it's too broad as well. It will still be mass customization. It's just the name being location there. We've got customer preferences as well, whereby content, it will be customized based on what customer prefers. This could be preferences auto-generated or actually descriptive, which means customers actually indicated that they prefer this type of content. If it's about food, if they say they love South African food, or it could be based on previous orders. So using algorithms there, it can work whereby we predict, which is the last one that you see, we predict what customer would prefer. For example, if they've purchased South African food, and then we can start showing other African foods as well as a prediction. So you will see that the content that I will see on the website, which uses this database integration, even if we are sitting at the same location, if you are on your mobile phone or I'm on my smartphone, I'm seeing different content, you are seeing different content because this content is personalized based on my customer experience. So that's the goal that we are having here. You have some pictures there that illustrates, for example, the second picture, it shows other movies you might enjoy because a person have watched a certain movie. So you'll see that it's about customer preferences, about recommendations, algorithms as well. For example, you can select a page that I'm in South Africa and that works as a mass customization. If we look into the third element of a website design there, we've got the form of visual design, and in the textbook is on page 324. So they explain to you about that the form of the website design, it talks about the graphics, the color, you can highlight, style, layout of the website, and so on. And we've got site personalities on the next page. And I've summarized them here on the slide. Site personality, a website could be fun, it could be formal, engaging, entertainment, it could be professional, it could be serious website when you look into it. So it will always depend on, obviously, the online value proposition of what the website is all about. What are they? So if it's about entertainment as well as customers' needs and motivations that we looked into in chapter 4, if the website's about entertaining the customers, we expect the website to be entertaining. For example, your Netflix, it should look more entertaining. Talking about pictures, if the website it's about education or it's about any professional industry, even the website should look professional. Things about law, you can't expect the website to be entertaining for customers which are in trouble and they need lawyers and so on. So as soon as I log into the website of a lawyer, I expect it to actually be synced with what I'm going through as well. And then you've got also site styles that you must consider as well. So the site style is either the website, it's more information or graphic intensive. So we've got two there that you're looking into. The website could be more about information, which is text basically. That is on page 325 there under site style, or it could be graphic intensive. So depending once again on the needs or the motivations of customers, something such as Netflix, we will look into, it's more graphic intensive because those are movies, those are series. When we look into websites such as Blackboard, I think previous My Tutor, the one that we had before, not this one. This one, Brightspace, it although it's still information intensive, there's quite more graphics than the My Tutor or Blackboard because all these small details, they play a huge role. For example, your banner that you have there, all those underlining content. So all those banner pictures, they play a role in terms of trying to make it more graphic intensive, but it's still about information because your assignments, PowerPoint slides, all those. So it's, although there's a bit of change, it's still information intensive. We will need to consider the graphical element of it from time to time as well. Some website is important to be information intensive than graphic intensive, like learning that we have. So it all depends on the objective. But when you summarize here, you can also indicate when you do the analysis why it should be information intensive and why it should be graphic intensive. That will also have to relate with the personality. There is less fun, there is less engagement, there is less entertainment in information, but there is more in graphic intensive website. There is more fun, there is more engagement, there is more entertainment in the graphics. So it could also work in terms of aligning those two as well. And the fourth element we look into is the organization and navigation structure, which is on page 341. So if you quickly go there in the textbook, basically here we are talking about the page layout, the interaction that they indicate on page 341 there. There are four aspects that we'll be looking into. That's also another practical questions that you will see a lot. So how do you organize? So the word organization, how do you organize the website? What will be your global navigation bars, or what will be your site-wide schemes? In the picture here, you will see we have got those site schemes like product, that is your global navigation. Services, about, blog, and contact, we can consider all those global navigation. And then local navigation, as it indicated, that those are detailed for specific areas. So each global navigation, it will have local navigation. For example, under products, all these ones, things such as personal, foods, clothes, including the detailed part of it, all of them are local navigation. So if we use another practical example using Brightspace, for example, all these ones that we have here are global navigation, your content, your assignment, all this. And usually we tend to use the content page. And in the content page, you will see your learning content, semester 2, welcome, and all this one, you can refer to them as local navigation. Even if they have subcategories like you have here, you've got your learning unit 5, all of them become local navigation. So don't make a mistake and consider this one is a global navigation. Global will only be the ones that, irrespective of where you are on the website, they will always show your home page. Previously, we used to have a home page button on every website, but now we're using the logo in most time to take you back home. So it's also some sort of a global navigation that you have. Someone might consider these global navigations a lot, and I would agree it's quite a lot. They can be actually be grouped into one somewhere, like things such as quizzes, your surveys, your assignments, all those can be just called assessments, including grades. But if you look in the textbook, they tell you the number of global navigations that you should have. I think they talk about between 5 or 6. As soon as you have more than that, that's quite a lot. So you have to put that into consideration as well when you organize the structure of the website. And contextual navigation, that's another one. This one is basically related pages. This one appear based on the content that the customer is viewing. So just know that contextual navigation in most cases, it's not part of your own website content. In most cases, it's other website content, but it's also using algorithms that are happening there. So the picture that is on the slide showing you the contextual navigation, it will be something whereby maybe you are purchasing this t-shirt, it shows you related t-shirts that you can buy as well there. So let's quickly make use of one practical example. Let's quickly go to macro here. Let's see if they have contextual advertising or bar. So here, if you look into this page, you'll see store departments. These are our global navigations, your promotions, business to business, all of them that you can see irrespective of where you are on the page, my account and so on. And what you find here, food, television, all this we refer to them as local navigation. So I wanted to show you the contextual navigation. So in this case, they don't have any. So what will happen most of the time is that as soon as you open a product such as this one, it will show you other products or other pages that are related here. It could be something such as reviews. It will be contextual as well. So we have to think about the word context to understand what's the meaning of this navigation. This word comes from the word context. And I want you to understand what it means, because I think we understand content a lot, but we don't understand context, what it actually means. So let's start from the definition. It says the circumstances that form the setting for an event in terms of which it can be fully understood. Okay, that's one. The parts of something written or spoken that immediately precede and follow a word or passage and clarify its meaning. Let's look what Wikipedia says here. Context refers to those objects or entities which surround a focal event. In this discipline, typically a communicative event of some kind. It's a frame that surrounds the event and provides resources for its appropriate interpretation. I love this last definition, that this one makes more sense than most. So the word context In research, I've seen it being defined beautifully, where they say a meaning of something, it will differ on where it is. So a meaning, so you can see here they use words such as surround the event. That makes sense as well. So going back to the slide here, contextual advertising. So the meaning of contextual advertising, if we're talking about it, you're talking about the related pages, meaning that that page that you're gonna have, the price that you're gonna have, depending on the website where it is, it will lead to other content that must also be included. So if the product is placed under buying, we expect to see things such as discount is part of the context of buying. We expect to see things such as delivery. All those bars or navigation will be part of the way buy or the page to buy. So context, it will refer to those pages that accompany or they are needed in relation to what the customer is viewing at that particular moment. Breadcrumbs is the last one. This is a trail that reveals users' location on the website. Here at the bottom of the slide, you've got a picture. And that picture shows you the customer is on kitchen, small appliances is under food. So that is a breadcrumb. There are two ways you can identify breadcrumb on the website. So let's quickly go back to macro again. Let's see if they do use breadcrumbs. So the theory or the digital theory suggests that you must provide customers with those breadcrumbs so that they know exactly where they are. They can navigate to go back and go to different pages that are related to it. So you'll see they are using breadcrumb as well on macro. This is their breadcrumb. We are on home, appliances, we are under fridges. So as soon as I come to side by side fridges, it should also, it's still under fridge. So you will see all these pages that talks about the brands, that talks about the price, talking about promotions. This is what we refer to as contextual bars, because all these pages will appear in relation to what we are viewing. So if I already have an example of a breadcrumb there, it's a trail. You can also pick it up from here as well. We are under fridges, appliances as well, but customers must see it easily. That's what it indicates, because I can, if I want to go back, I can click here and then it takes me back. So it is suggested some sort of making it your navigation and the structure of the website to be simpler to obviously improve customer experience. And then the last element of the website design that you should consider is interaction. We don't want the website to be just one way or mass communication where customers are not able to respond back or they can interact. Sometimes it's not about interacting with the organization, it's about interacting with the content. So if you go to Facebook, you will see that you can interact with the content a lot, meaning that you don't interact with the organization. Some stage you don't have to even interact with your users or your friends. It's just interacting with the content that is published there. Things such as forwarding a video, rewinding a video, it's all part of interacting with the content. So your callback facility, your chat facility, your on-site search engines, your selection of choice to say you can have those sliding bars and then the content changes depending on what you are doing. The online calculators, this one will work nicely on the banking industry. For example, it can show you things such as if you borrow this much, you borrow for how many period or for how long. And then how is going to be your interest rate, how much is going to be your installment. So they play a huge role as well as part of interaction. They allow two-way communication, and all those are on page 344 on the next page, basically. And those are the 5 design elements of the website. So the next elements that we consider in summary here are the mobile marketing options that we have. And in terms of this, they're on page 353 of the textbook. You will see they are also summarized in the textbook there. The first one, it's a mobile site. That the options that we have in terms of mobile, we can have a separate version of a website. So a separate version, it simply means that it will be written .mobi. So most of the time, previously we used to have them, but since we had an adaptive style, in the textbook, those are shown on page 352, the differences between adaptive or one response system. Most companies no longer use a separate version. They always use adaptive one. For example, that will be going to a website such as TUT on your smartphone .mobi because you're on a smartphone, and then it will be a different website than going to tut.ac.za, which you can do it on the computer. But we know they're no longer using that method. So it's no longer responsive. It's more adaptive now, the style that is used. So adaptive, it simply means that it adapts to the device that you are using. So if you are using a smartphone, the website of TUT will change. For example, the link will be on the other side and so on. So adaptive is the way to go now. Mobile applications, like I've indicated, your WhatsApps, any application that you download, it can be an option. But the suggestion that is made here is that if you want to give customers a digital experience and you're a company, you create a mobile smartphone app. So every company should have an app, basically. And we've seen this growing a lot. Even small companies now have an app. Even going to a mall, most malls or some malls have an app that is specific to that mall, and it changes the customer experience. For example, if I go to Sentin City and then as soon as I walk in, I download that app, it shows me where I am. It's the whole new experience. I don't have to ask anyone for a particular store's promotions. I see them on the phone and so on. It's all about the digital experience. So a mobile app, it's also another niche digital marketing area that is showing a nice field as well. And then advertising on those apps, I've already illustrated an example with the retail store app, whereby I've indicated that if it's a Sentin City Mall app, they can advertise directly there to show what is promotion. Also including the promotions that you find on an app such as social media, like your Facebook. It's on the Facebook app. It's an app itself, but you advertise in that particular social media app. We know the quick response code. We've seen it a lot. It's basically just a link. So when you scan it, it's just a link to a website. So the idea is that you provide convenience to customers or users that they don't have to type. They don't have to write the whole www/. They can just quickly scan. It's gaining momentum in terms of allowing things such as your WhatsApp desktop, things such as your logging in details. You can log in using this smartphone app, where you scan a QR code on your phone. The menus in restaurant, I've seen they're doing it quite a lot. There is no longer that book that shows you pictures and prices. They just put a QR code on a table, you scan that, and it works quite well to change the experience of the dining experience in some of the research papers that we published. And then lastly, we've got an SMS. It's important to note that if you are considering SMS as part of your marketing option that you only specifically talk about an SMS that has a link. So if an SMS does not have a link that a customer can click into, it's just an SMS whereby they show a product is not digital. So the digital part of an SMS is providing a link within the SMS that customers can click on that link like this one, and then it takes them to the page. So just put that into considerations or at the back of your head as well. And basically that brings us to an end of chapter 6, learning theory. So in summary, what we have here, we've got 2 strategies that you can suggest, or in total, we've got 3 strategies for digital marketing plan. Social media, we've discussed this one last week. Website strategy. So depending on the objective, once again, so if the objective is to sell, think about the strategies that we've discussed here. For example, the content is used for customer experience. Things such as having an ability to pay online, that is to sell. Mobile marketing options, that's another one we consider. Things such as SMS, your QR codes, those are mostly used to sell as well as to speak with the objective, to speak to customers. So think about the objective that you must also include in terms of those strategies as well. So we're gonna do a quizzes based on this. It's a reflection so that I see you understand which questions you're struggling with. So firstly, we're gonna have our last learning activity here. Let's quickly write that. So this one, we're gonna make it a 10 minutes learning activity. Let's make it learning activity 2. Okay, for 10 minutes. It will need us to read the case study and understand the case study, as well as to log in to the quizzes and play that game there. So I'm gonna firstly say, while I generate the code for quizzes, download this case study, learning activity 5, show max case study. For you to be able to answer those quizzes question, you have to read this case study. It's just about 1 page case study. So in the next 3 minutes, I'm gonna mute myself so that you can read the case study and concentrate while I generate that quizzes code. And I'm gonna paste it in the chat box here, and then you can follow the link there. So it is now 10:43, so probably we'll be done with class by 11. So I'm just here, I'm muting myself. If you have any questions or you're struggling with anything, you can unmute the mic or ask those questions. So let's read the case study for now, ladies and gentlemen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, by now you should be done reading the case study, but if you are still reading the case study, you can continue. I'm gonna start the quiz game. I've already have a participant there, so if you haven't joined the quiz by now, please join the quiz. The instructions are on the chat box. You click on the link, join my quizzes. If you haven't played it previously, or even if you played it previously, it's actually more fun or nicer playing it on your smartphone. So I would advise you, if you have a smartphone with you, rather play it on your smartphones and use the computer to see the leaderboard, because on the screen you'll be showing the leaderboard. So as you answer the questions, the leaderboard will be updated as well. So enter any nickname for playing a game there. I've already have 5 participants, so I'm gonna start it now. You can start answering the questions. Those who are joining, you can join the game as well. So I'll also mute myself so that you can focus. But I'll be here. If you have any questions, you can ask. It will be quiet just so that you can concentrate. Yeah, if you are struggling to join, I can see in the comment box, you just have to click on join my quiz without the WW. So I will just remove that part now. Thank you for that. So there is no WWW there. Then it does go through. I've experienced similar problem now. So let's quickly paste the new message. So can you try again using that link now. Without the www, it should work. Please let me know. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the quiz gives you 2 minutes for each question, but some of you started late and it's live. So I know you're still playing, so try and answer quickly rather than for 2 minutes, because I'm gonna end it now so we can discuss the report. Okay, we'll be discussing the report now. You'll have to consider as well that the quiz also take into consideration the time you take into answering the question. That's why you will see some of you answered the same questions correctly or similar score here, but you have different scores because some of you took longer to answer that question than others. So I'm gonna end it now so we can see the report. Unfortunately, I can't generate the report while you're still playing, hence I will end. So it should also end on your side. So congratulations to Pi for scoring on being number 1 there or scoring most of the points there. And where I have questions, I see you've got more than 50% of shot accuracy. I'm not worried about those. It seems you understood most of them. Maluleke, do you have a question you want to ask? Because your mic is unmuted.
No, sir, it's a mistake. Sorry.
Okay. And so if I scroll to the right as well, oh, it's what's only 9 questions. So the questions that I'm worried about is a question such as question number 8, where you scored 9%. So you will see it's only 2 people there. So if we review that question, we can talk about that one a bit. Question number 8, there was only 2 people who managed to score it correctly, 17 incorrect. So let's quickly have a look here. According to the case study, for 99 Rand, customers get access to online catalog of TV shows, movies, kids shows, and documentaries with no adverts. Select 3 appropriate global navigation bars. So you'll see it wants you to select 3 appropriate that Showmax should use. So anyone who would like to comment there, because at the moment I'm not showing the correct answers, I'm just showing the question as it was. Which ones did you pick up? You can just unmute the mic and indicate the ones you picked up as global navigation bars. So basically here we are looking for those ones who should always be there. So things such as comedy and action, that should be under movies. So in the understanding, let's quickly click there. You will see your answers now, starting with the previous question. 5 players and 7 players indicated comedy and actions, but when you look into those ones, they should actually be your local bars for your TV show, your movies bars, because you also need things such as horror, romance, and other genres of movies as well there. So there are a lot of correct answers that you picked up as like account, 13 players or TV shows. It's just that some of you included that one. Maybe you left the account part. Does not mean that the entire answers were incorrect, but 2 out of 3, it's still an incorrect answer. So the quiz wanted you to be 3 out of 3 here. And the next question, similar scenario, but in this case, it was asking you to choose a local bar that will be appropriate to manage my account. So if I'm on my account page, what am I expecting to see? Manage subscription, billing history, marketing preferences. Most of you clicked help center as well. That shouldn't be under my account. I should be able to access help center as a global navigation bar. I'm worried about those who click TV shows, unless you do have a comment or interpretation of that, why it will be under in my account section. But it seems that was the toughest question according to the quiz. So, ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the end of our today's class online session lesson. I'm gonna quickly stop the recording now, and if you have any questions, please do not hesitate. You can just unmute the mic and ask that question. And I'm also gonna ask you to, in the chat box as you leave, please have a lovely weekend. Just comment with a smiley face or your current mood, sad face, angry face if you are angry, or sad face, and so on. And ladies and gentlemen, it's been fun. So enjoy the weekend. Goodbye.
Well, wait.
I'm not gonna end the class. I'm just gonna end the recording. So you'll be able to answer any questions. So those without questions,
sorry.
yeah, for now, I don't wanna keep them here. Okay. So yes, you can ask a question.
No, I was just asking, where can we find these recordings, like the class recordings?
I